Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 4 with a tournament. This is going to kind of be a little bit of a showdown slash tournament because we are going racing with some classic sports cars. Now all of these vehicles are completely stock. It's going to be a 1v1 knockout tournament to see which is going to come out on top. And we start with a Triumph versus a Skyline. And now we're driving around a very twisty route in Ambleside, which you shall see in a second. For the qualifying rounds, just one lap around here, and the winner progresses to the next round. So, we will get everybody ready, and then send them on their way. It's quite an even jump between the pair of them down towards this first corner. The Skyline is going to hold on to its lead. The Triumph gets a bucket load of understeer. Now, these cars are, as I said, all stock. They're D-Class, C-Class, no, D-Class. They're kind of relatively mid-ish to high D-Class cars. But they're all on their standard tyres. Nothing has a huge amount of grip for running on some quite twisty, quite technical roads. The Skyline is starting to extend its lead a little bit up here as we round up. There's a building there. I can't quite do the cool drone shot I was going for. Never mind, we live and learn. This next corner is particularly nasty. We go downhill through this bumpy section. This corner here is very, very tight. Easy to end up into the houses if you are not careful. This chicane onto the back stretch. And one more chicane to go here. Really get the vehicle slow, get it turned, don't end up in the roadblock police van. And around the final corner, Skyline is across the line. It is through to the next round. The Triumph just did not quite have the grip, really, in that one. It was just a bit more understeery than the Nissan. So, there we have it. Our first car is through to the next round. Up next, we have got a Ford Capri versus a Toyota 2000 GT. Some of the bigger, it's scary saying this, some of the bigger cars perhaps in the field in some regards. The Capri, technically the highest PI here. We shall see how it fares on this stage. We shall release the cars. It is a good start from the Toyota. It has the inside line towards turn 1, and the 2000 GT shall lead the way as we head towards the car park. It's a little bumpy through here. You've got to be careful. Certainly the curb, you hit it too hard, you can get in all sorts of trouble. Capri is having a little bit of a look around the outside. Not quite going to get anything through there as we run up now into the technical nasty drift road section. The 2000 GT has got into all sorts of trouble there. It just doesn't have the grip to hold it through there. Slid out, clipped the wall, and that was that. It's trying to look underneath the Capri on the exit. Not quite. Nothing quite giving down there as we head towards these next couple of... This is a really nasty corner here. You really got to get the car stopped. It's so much tighter than you think it is on the way. And as I said, these cars don't have a huge amount of grip. As we go for that change of direction through the chicane. We've only got one more nasty corner coming up. They've got to get it right in these cars, and the Capri does change direction. Toyota slides a little bit. Capri will take victory. It is through to the next round. The Toyota is, well, not quite out. It's into the Spanner final. It's going to be mayhem. We move on to the next heat. We have got Mercedes 300 SL Gullwing racing here, one of the oldest cars in the field, up against the Nissan Fairlady Z, and it has just started to rain. I mean, it's fair for both of them, you know, they've got the same conditions. It's just going to be a little bit more slippery than the rest have had to deal with. Let's get these ready. The Mercedes is likely to be quite fast, I would imagine, down the straight, but I think it could be a bit of a handful in the corners. Not that there is much in the way of straights here. That's the difficult part, really, for that Merc. It is going to have the power for any acceleration zone. It is catching a little bit on the Nissan, but can you really do anything through these corners? No, big slide for the Merc. The Nissan's not exactly glued to the road, though, and I think he's going to be. We're all on those old tyres. Mercedes really wants to be closer through these sections, if at all possible. We're going to see any more sliding from the cars? No, not quite. Everything well behaved. This is next corner. If someone's going to make a mistake, it's going to be, I suspect, through here. Mercedes gets it wrong a little bit on the way in, gathers it all back up again, but is too far back, I would expect, unless there is any big mistakes from the Nissan as we head up towards the last chicane here. The Nissan gets it stopped, gets it turned, nicely does it through there. We have, Mercedes has overdone it. The Nissan is through to the next round. The Mercedes buried it in the pub I think. Possibly. Not quite sure what that is. Looks like a taxi office. Mercedes is to the spatter final. Nissan makes it through. The rain continues to pour, but we are ready for our next race. We have got the Alfa Romeo, the GTA, and we have got a Porsche 914. I mean, we know the Alfa's generally very, very quick in Forza. Who knows? We shall see how this one goes. And we have a little bit of a ghostly car. That's fine. They're back out of there. Let us launch the pair of them. Is a good start from that 914. It is going to lead the way through turn 1. The Alfa's going to have to make a pass stick somewhere. Now, this isn't the worst track in the world for overtaking, not in these relatively slower cars, but it is not so straightforward at the end of the day. It's still very narrow, it's still very technical, and you don't get very much time to try and find a way past here. The Alfa is all over the back of the Porsche as we head up towards this hairpin, and 914's got some speed. It is safe to say. The Alfa's looking, but that's a very, very wide line for the GTA. Wheel out onto the grass. It might not be close enough to do all that much. It's going to have to make up a lot of time somewhere. Is it through here? The Porsche slips and slides a little bit, but not a crazy amount. The 914, I mean, it's got that little bit of a gap. It's maybe closer than some of the races that we have seen. Here comes the Alfa's huge straight line speed, actually, all the way down there as they flick the change of direction. Oh, it's going to be super close, but the 914 is through. The Alfa was absolutely flying so quick down the straight. It was really gaining in what is a very, very small technical circuit. However, the Porsche is through to the next round. The Alfa Romeo is out. For our next heat, we have got probably the biggest / heaviest car in the form of the Fiat. A little bit of an oddball inclusion here, the RX-7. It is more modern than everything around, but PI-wise, it's actually at the slightly lower end, perhaps. So the RX-7 is in. We'll see how these fare. The Mazda may have some slightly better tyres. I think it's going to be difficult for the Fiat just because of the weight, regardless of the fact it's against the most modern car here. But we shall see what happens in this one. It's a good start from the Dino. The Dino does have a good chunk of power. One of the more powerful, if not the most powerful car. I think the Mercedes may be slightly more powerful. The RX-7 has fought back to the inside, but it's going to lose out on the drag race down here. Big wheelie for the Dino. RX-7 can't get it stopped. The Mazda has not got it stopped into that corner. It has run wide and clipped the fence on the outside. It is going to be the Dino. I mean, all the Dino has to do now is just not make a mistake. Don't make a mistake down here, and that will be sorted, really, for the Fiat. Oops, can't go that way. There's a building in the way. I shall learn to fly drone at some point in all of this as we round what is a nasty corner. I said Dino just has to not make any silly mistakes in this one. Through the chicane we go. One more chicane section for that Fiat. Gets it stopped, and it is through there, no problems at all. It'll cross the line and take victory. It is through to the next round. There is the RX-7, a little bit unlucky. It's an easy mistake to make. Just couldn't get the car slowed down, and that will be the Mazda. Sadly, out of contention. The Fiat is through to the next round, and we are on to the final of the qualifying heats, and I'm driving an Elan for this one. It's middling in terms of PI, but it's very small and very light, and I feel like this is going to be a good course. I am up against the Escort for the qualifying round, which is probably one of the faster cars here. I'm a little bit worried about the Escort in all of this. We are going to get underway. It's a bit of a wheel spinny start for the Elan and the Ford. Well, the Ford couldn't quite get clear by the time we got to turn 1. It's side by side as we run through the car park here. The Elan has got the top speed on the Escort. We're going to go around the outside of the Ford. We're having to do this the hard way. Well, we're not supposed to go across the curb. I will say, I wasn't given much choice in the matter through there. We were very much squeezed across the inside of the curb. Around the hairpin we head. Now I've just got to make no silly mistakes as we run down the hill. It has got to night. Thankfully, visibility not too bad around here. I get on the brakes. The Elan might slide a little bit through here, but nothing too bad. Now, I think we had better acceleration than that Escort. down here. This is a bloody close race as we head towards the final corner. Around the last turn we go. Clip the apexes nicely. The Elan is through to the next round. That was a great race. That was a really, really good race against the Escort. We really had to work for that one, but it did in the end. Christ, that was tough. We are through. I think the Escort might be formidable in the Spanner final, but the Elan is through to the next rounds. We are on to the semi-finals. Up first, it is the Fiat Dino versus the Skyline. I mean, these are probably two of the bigger cars in the field, certainly compared to the teeny tiny Elan. Let's send them on their way. The Dino's a little bit lucky getting through to this one, but it does have some good acceleration. If it can get to the first, it's not quite a long enough straight for it to get to the first corner first. If we could hold on around the outside, maybe out-drag the Skyline, but not quite as we head down towards the drift road. Is the Dino going to have a look? That's not going to really be a gap that's ever there. Always going to be an ever closer gap. You're too far back. Now, you want to sit and follow up the hill. Hope the Skyline gets oversteer. Best bet for the Dino is going to be out-accelerate it somewhere. It's still trying to get to the inside, but there's no real space to do anything down there. And we're heading towards this horrible, nasty corner. We've not actually seen too many issues since we've actually got it going here, with vehicles sliding away. We saw in practice a lot of cars had issues. Head through the chicane here. There's an A-Class, thankfully stays out of the way. Now the Dino just doesn't have the speed to match the Skyline. It just can't do anything. Tries to have a look into the final chicane. It's clonked the apex marker and it's gone anyway. There we go. The Skyline held on. The Dino tried everything down the back section and it's just not able to do anything on that one. It is out. The Skyline, that goes through to the final. Our second semi-final, we have got the Porsche and the Capri. The 914 was very quick, actually, in its qualifying round, if you like. I think there could be something to watch around this stage. As I said, the Capri is the highest PI of all the vehicles here. Let us send them on their way. Very even start between the pair of them. Absolutely neck and neck through there. The Capri is going to take the early lead. Now the 914 is going to have to try and find a way to overtake. And that is difficult. Although, that's a brave line. It's such a tight line though from the Porsche. It's actually going to be a little slow on the exit. The Capri was a little wide through all of that. Now we're in a drift zone. The AI cars through this bit will be in ghost mode if any turn up. We've hopefully trapped most of them. Yeah, for this bit, if there are any, they will be in ghost mode. Sadly, it does end before the end of this nasty blind section. The Capri's got the acceleration on that Porsche. That's where the Capri is strongest. I don't think it outturns the 914, but it does have that little bit more acceleration as we head now on to the last section. One more chicane to go. The Ford has got this one in the bag, provided there is no big mistakes through here, which there is not. The 914 absolutely threw it at the corners, but it wasn't enough. The Capri is through to the final. The 914 could not quite make it in the end. We are on to the last of the semi-finals. The Elan is going to have to... Well, it's on the outside, which is always a little bit more difficult, but we managed to find ways past before. I'm going to have to put in a good performance. I mean, this is always... I do have one of the stronger cars here, there is no doubt about it. However, it's difficult to overtake at this track. We've seen it so much already. It is difficult to overtake cars. We are going to try and stick to the outside of the Fair Lady. If we can make this work, which we do... Oh, we get a big wheelie. That's not what we needed. We do not need a wheelie in the Lotus. That was unhelpful for the Elan. We're going to have to do this the really hard way, I think, now, because that is absolutely not what I needed from this car. Can we go around the outside there? Oh, we are to the inside through here. It's going to be a drag race down the hill. This is going to be super close. No, the Fair Lady has got us down this section. We're going to have to try and brave it into the final chicane, or can we cut underneath through here? We've got a good run, but where do we go with it? Oh, it's going to be side by side into the chicane. We might actually have to just launch it and hope for the very best. Well, we're going to try and prise the door open. We're banging doors. I think the Elan's going to do it just across the line. Whew, that was scary. The wheelie almost killed us. The bouncing across the curb almost got the better of the Elan. I mean, we threw it at that last chicane. We absolutely threw it at the last chicane, and we made it stick. The Elan is formidable. It is through to the final, but that was one hell of a race. We are on to the Spanner final. Now, this is going to be 2 laps around this rather nasty, twisty, technical circuit. It's going to be chaos, because there are going to be 9 cars racing. All the vehicles that didn't make it into the final are in this. Watch out for the escort. I expect that to be very, very quick, getting through the field, although 2 laps is not much time to try and work your way through all of this lot. The noise shall rise, and we are off and underway. It's a good start for the Alfa Romeo. That is going to lead through the first corner. This 1000 GT is trying to get out the inside. A little bit of lag from the Triumph screwed the outside row. Really, in all of this. The Escort's got a couple of places off of the line as we jump across that wheelie section. The Alfa leads the way, although it's about to get passed on the run up the hill by the RX-7. That's looking for a way past, although if it can't get the move done completely, it will be on the outside for the hairpin, and it hasn't got it done yet. The Alfa is still going to fire, or try and fire past there. The Escort, as I said, one to watch. Oh, it's still in the middle of the pack. It's all manner of vehicles are close together. There are 4 friendly fire has got the better of them. I mean, there's always the potential there's going to be traffic on this one. You've got to be careful. The Fair Lady is going to move up into 3rd place, gets past the Triumph. I mean, we saw how quick that was against the Elan. That bit of a hell of a fight. So you have to watch out for that. Look out for the Beamer in the way as we head towards the end of the first lap. So we've got one more time around here. Alfa Romeo leads from RX-7. Fair Lady in 3rd. Followed by the Triumph, followed by the Mercedes, followed by the Escort, 1000 GTs in that group. Someone went very wide. I think it's the Porsche. Porsche's not having a good time in all of this. Oh, there's been traffic mayhem. It's all gone a bit messy there. Don't know what happened to Blakey. It was supposed to be blocking the traffic, but it's not worked. Now, thankfully, everybody got through, no problems at all. The RX-7 continues to lead the way here. The Escort's all the way up into 2nd place. What happened to the Alfa? I'm not quite sure. Something happened to the Alfa Romeo in all of that. Is that what started the mayhem down there? Or it's something's happened to the Alfa Romeo? We have lost a GTA. It's an Alfa. It's probably broken down. The Fair Lady's actually having a look to the inside now, trying to find a way past that Mazda. If they're not careful, they might all get beaten by the Escort. If it's fast enough down here, which it doesn't quite look like it is. The Fair Lady has got to the inside. The Escort's tried the inside as well there. Oh, there's poor Escort could not catch a break, and it will be across the line for the Alfa's turned up. Did the Alfa despawn? I'm not 100% sure what happened. Either the Alfa despawned from my view, or it just suddenly rejoined at the start. I don't quite know what's gone on with the Alfa. Something peculiar happened. It is a Spanner final. It's supposed to be confusing. Wonderful drive from the Fair Lady to maybe get 2nd in all of that. We're not sure. It was a great race. It was manic. I don't know what went on at the car park, but it was complete chaos. I think the Alfa Romeo, just by the donuts, I think the Alfa Romeo has won. It just disappeared on my screen for a little while. Thank you, Forza, for being Forza. But there we have it. The Alfa Romeo is possibly the ultimate Spanner, or the Fair Lady. I'll have to have an edit somewhere. So we are on to the final. The Little Elan is going to take on the Skyline and the Capri for honours to be the best classic sports car at a really twisty, nasty, horrible Ambleside circuit. I think we're ready. Oh, well, there's a BMW has been stopped. We've got BMW issues. No, BMW, get out of the way. Oh, for God's sake. Excuse me. Look, can you just leave us to do our racing, please? We are definitely allowed to be doing this here. Yes, definitely. We're not okay. We are as ready as I think we're going to ever be. Fingers crossed the Elan can do well once again. It's a good jump from all of us. The Elan is going to streak to the lead, but we're going to have to give the Skyline some space on the inside so as not to put it into the wall. That Skyline is still alongside. Now we know what issues my Elan had with the bumps. It is a little bit bumpy once again. We're on to the brakes to head up towards the drift road. It's a little bit late on them. We ran a smidge wide on the exit. And that's okay. We have the grip to get away with it, but it just makes me slightly slow coming up the hill. We will lead through these next couple of corners. Got to keep an eye on those cars behind. We can't afford any slip-ups. Woo! Okay, that's still in ghost mode through all of that one there. I didn't know where the zone ended, hence the panic. Try and avoid it. Oh, don't run too wide through there, otherwise you might end up in the front of a Mercedes. I can see the front bumper of the Skyline. It's looking. Try to find a way past here if it can. We should have more speed. Whoa, that was dangerous. We somehow all got through that, though. The AI got freaked out by me enough that it stopped and left a big gap for all of us to drive through. Oh, it has become more dangerous as this has gone on. We managed to get rid of most of the traffic for the early stuff, but no, it's got more dangerous as the racing has gone on. You've got to have quick reactions. You've got to have a nimble car. Oh, my diff is terrible in this. Yeah, there is one tyre fires aplenty for the Elan as we head around the hairpin for the final time. Okay, don't see any traffic. We have pulled a bit of a gap over those two. The Elan is pulling away at the moment. Away from the Skyline, away from the Capri. It's actually really annoying having the writing come up there because it just covers the sight lines for the corner. I mean, the Skyline is right there. Oh god, transit out of the way, please. Thankfully it is going to be. As we barrel through the final corner, the Skyline used all of the track and a little bit more. It brushed the RX-7, but it will be a victory for the Lotus. The Skyline kept us honest. The Skyline do keep us honest in that one. The Elan has just, it's got the grip. It's small enough, it's light enough that it can change directions so well in a course like this one. It was always going to be a difficult one to beat. The Fair Lady put up a really, really good fight. We actually had a tough way to the final. That is for sure. We're getting bullied by the future now. We're breaking the immersion of this classic sports car showdown with the Quadra Turbo. I don't remember what it's called, but anyway, the Elan is victorious. It's good fun though. Had some really, really good races in this one. I was involved in some of the closest races in this one. And there we have it. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.